It occurred to me that I should test the LEDs straight off the battery as they are now. Same setup, and it's only 0.05 on the lumens, so they are getting boosted by the SJR circuit. It's not just running off the battery. Now the battery is obviously quite dead at 10.17 volts, 16. Okay. Alright, so I've got the lumens to the same level as running off the SJR. I had to bump up the voltage to 10.5, 10.6 I should say. Yeah, it's 10.6 on there. It's barely drawing any milliamps. Light level is exactly the same. But yeah, just to show that, yeah, it does drop. Lumens do drop as tricky, as quickly. It's going to be hard. I'll do it this way. And there you go, the lumens drop quite quickly relative to the voltage. So the boost and the resonance in that SJR are definitely doing something to help with efficiency, though maybe only slightly, but it also means that a lot more of the voltage in the capacitor can be used. This isn't very useful for a battery, but definitely more useful for a capacitor. And we're almost at no light now. Okay. And just to be more clear, 10 volts, 110 lumens on a 1.2 mega ohm resistor running off the cap. Take the cap off. We have a far slower drop in lumens. At the cost of potential, which is good for a capacitor, because we want to use as much of that capacitance as possible. Whereas if we use the battery, we'd kill the battery. So we're getting an extra 2 volts of usable voltage difference. At that impedance, but obviously if we put a higher impedance on, we can make that last a bit longer on a higher voltage. Now to do the experiment at 13 volts, running off a high charged battery, same setup, off of 1.2 mega ohms, we're getting 190 lumens. I'll take the battery off. Now we're on capacitance. Lumens drops with voltage. As suspected. The interesting thing is putting it back on battery, 13 volts, applying more impedance, let's say double, we get a drop in lumens. And if we put the extreme on, we get a total loss in lumens. So this circuit really doesn't like that higher voltage. It really does prefer a lower voltage with this sort of arrangement, with this many windings, etc., etc. Obviously, different arrangements will have different characteristics. Let's watch that drop again. Sorry about the shadow. I wonder if there's any frequency shifts. I don't think there will be because we're at 1.2 mega ohms. Oh wow, okay. That's different. That jumped up all the way. Was it 200? I'll have to look at the video. Let's see if we can replicate that. I record and experiment at the same time sometimes, so the recordings will be first impressions. In this case, okay, let's see, let's watch it jump up. Oh, there you go. So it did 11.9 volts, but then it really drags that voltage down. So at 12, so at exactly 12 volts, that thing hits about 300 lumens. Interesting. Ah, that must be because of the breakdown voltage in the LEDs. So it's bypassing everything. It's perhaps running those LEDs purely on 12 volts. I should do a lumens test of 12 volts on that. Alright, I guess that's the next thing I'll do. Alright, so at 12 volts, we get high lumens. You've got 12 volts, we are pumping about 120 milliamps into them. But we are off the scale, so I have to move up a scale. And we've got that. And that is not comparable. I will have to lower the voltage here. To say 11.5. It's still off the scale. So we are at 11.2. Okay, 10. 10.86 volts to get around 400 lumens. 10.8. Oh, okay, interesting.